Okay, so we have our object, or the top end of our snout. Also, let's name this, and since it's snout, snout 2, that's not 1. We'll call it snout 2 just because I'm gonna be consistent with what I've already created. So now we're going to create the bottom part of the snout. So that'll have, let's see, it's going to be 3, oops, 3, 2, 4, minus 1.5, 2, oops, minus 2, minus 2. And then the location is going to be minus 4. Oops, oh, that's what it was. I have them backwards. This is the top snout, and the other one's the bottom one. Let's go change that back then to minus 1, because that's at the bottom. This guy. And then our position on this will be minus 2, minus 4. So minus 2. Yeah, there you go. So we got like kind of like a dog-like snout on the front of this guy. And we'll call this shape Snout 1. Okay, so we got a bit of snout. Next, we're going to throw some ears on this guy. So I'm going to blow through this pretty quick and just plug in the numbers, but you guys get the point of the creation process here. So I'm just going to blow through some numbers here. Oops, did something wrong there. Oops, got them backwards. Next year. Okay, so there you go. The last part is I'm going to throw in a hood. Another reason why I'm throwing the hood in is just because, again, playing with some rotational stuff and wanting to keep things the way they are. So I'm going to make one more box. And dimensions on you are 9, 6, 7. 0, 0, 3. Minus 4.5. Minus 3. Okay, and I also rotated this slightly. I should think about the other way. Yeah, so something like that. If you've seen Anbes, he has kind of a hood thing that's on him, so there we go. So we've created our Anbes model. That's the first part of getting him into the system, so to speak. Oops, don't forget you'll want to rename these parts so you know what they are. It makes life easier. Right here. Also, I don't know if you know too much about Techne, but let's just say you make a box by accident and you don't want it, so let's just throw a box here. Oops. Let's move it out to the side. So I've found this box and I need to get rid of it. If you click over here and hit the delete button, it'll delete it out. Okay, so the last part about this is you have to make a texture map. This is the hard part. One thing I've done is I've made a blank texture. When you throw up a blank texture, you'll see these images of where their texture map is. There's two reasons I do this. So I can move it, when I move these around, I can see where they are. So like the body, I'm going to throw all the way to the side, move them down. Now, as you can see, you can go and play around and move these guys around. You can also have this button here. When you click on it, it tries to spread them out. Objects that are the same, it tends to leave on the same mapping, so you see that the highlighting isn't changing up here when I click on this. Same with the legs. But it will tend to separate out some of the other stuff and, you know, and move it to where it needs to be. One more thing, as I talk about this and you're talking about reserving space and so forth, I'm going to overlap these guys. It's 20. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tend to remove the overlapping on the arms and the legs because they will often be slightly different. So 45, this will be 45 as well. Take note of these numbers here. These are the same numbers used in your model render definition, and it's the coordinates basically on the map here where the upper left corner is. Okay, so got my snout pieces. Now, the unfortunate thing is they have my snout pieces overlapping, and that may cause me some grief. So I'm going to, I don't remember what I did for my other mapping, and I'm going to do it quickly when I go through this. So please bear with me in case I'm not, this tutorial is not on mapping. So, you know, if you're having issues with mappings, you'll basically have to fend for yourself. Again, this is more on building the model. Mapping is a whole other beast. So I've got the top snout there and the bottom snout. I'm going to move over there, and I'm going to shift those down just so they're not sitting on top of that other. So we've got the head up there, we've got the hood, we've got the body, we've got the legs, we've got the arms, the ears, and snouts. Okay, so as you can see, they lay out a texture map for you. What you can do is you can file export as texture map, and we'll call it test, a test. Now if you wanted to, and I hope this worked because sometimes it doesn't, I'm going to call up the load texture map and say oh, it worked this time. So basically, the nice thing about this is now you can throw your map on here. They only use 3 colors, green, red, and blue, as you can see. But what I tend to do, especially until you get used to how the mappings work, especially if you're doing some angled, funny stuff, what I do is I go into something like Photoshop or whatever graphic program you want to use, and I change one of the reds to purple, I change the blue to cyan, and I change one of the greens to yellow. And that way when you look at your map, you know exactly where the textures are going to lie. Okay, so this is an easy way to get it out, and what I do is I make a next layer inside of Photoshop, and then I color on top of that layer, and I leave this in the background. Phone call came in. Anyways, the last step would be to get our JavaScript out of this. So file, export as Java, and then store it as your whatever file you want. I'm going to just call this a test because I don't want to ruin my current. Well, actually, it doesn't matter. Yeah, I'm going to leave a test. So we're going to save that as a JavaScript, which you'll just open with a text editor to view. Also, it's always a good idea to save up your model. The main reason why is because if something happens along the way, or sometimes this texturing doesn't out export properly, so you have to exit out and come back in. That's a good idea so you don't lose it. And that's my little blurb on Techne. Like I said, once you've got your textures done up, you can just import it, lay it over. This won't work, of course, because I'm using a different texture set, really. Like my quarters are different except for the head. But you get the idea of what I'm showing you here, like how I've got the arms up here, the legs up here. And again, the mappings I laid out earlier are different than these, but again, you get the idea. So you can go into your graphic editing program, adjust the texture map, resave it, and then load it back up here again, and continue to get your updated map until you have it the way you want. Okay, so that's it. Again, I'm not tutoring you on Photoshop or how to make textures. As you saw, my inLancohe's texture, it's not really that good, but that you can find elsewhere. My little tips on changing the colors in here in a Photoshop program and then loading it back in will allow you to more easily map it, and that's as much as I can help you with that. Okay, so we've exported our JavaScript file, and now we're going to move on to building the model. Okay, thanks for watching.